Hey Jiggle Squad, it's your girl Jordan and welcome back to my channel. I am so happy to have you back with me. This is my second sit down talk video. I did a little bit of a Insta story poll and I asked which video you would like to see. The other video that did not get voted I will probably do next week, but a lot of people wanted me to do what I've learned on my weight loss journey so far. I have lost 45 pounds in 6 months, which is pretty on track to where I would like to be. I would like to lose 100 pounds by the end of the year and then tackle the other 75 to 100 pounds that I have to lose in 2020. So this is definitely like a long haul type of thing. This is not like I'm gonna diet 20 pounds off and then that's it. This is definitely a long haul thing, a lifestyle thing, a health thing. So even though right now what I am doing is I am intermittent fasting, so I try to eat between 12 and 7, which honestly is very hard during the summer. So it's definitely easier to do once I am working because I am a teacher. So I found it a little bit challenging to keep up with that in the summer, but I also do Weight Watchers and I also advocate fitness at every size. So I do work out. I don't go to the gym. I do a lot of home workouts and I also go to a kickboxing gym. So that's kind of a little bit of background on how I've lost 45 pounds in 6 months. I even kind of took a little bit of a break in May and June, and I still am on the path to losing 100 pounds by the end of this year, which I'm super excited for. So a lot of people asked to have me do a video about this. So here we go. I've written some points so that I'm not rambling, because knowing myself, I will ramble on and on and on. I could probably make a separate video for every one of the 7 points that I have written down in my notebook. But to keep things on the right track, I'm gonna kind of go through everything and just like a disclaimer, this is my own personal journey, a little bit of background about me. I have always been overweight. Previous to this, sort of like from like 2017 to 2018, I wasn't trying to do any sort of health thing because my mental health was just not at a great stage. And I'm going to talk about that kind of in this. So 2019, I kind of took the bull by the reins and I was like, we're doing this thing. So this is the most amount of weight that I have ever lost as an adult. Previously, the most amount of weight that I've ever lost is 50 pounds, and I achieved that by dancing 7 days a week. So let's get started. So if I look down, it's because I'm looking at my stuff. So what I have learned is that RuPaul was wrong. So what that means is, what RuPaul says is, if you can't love yourself, how the hell are you gonna love anybody else? And personally, I have found that I am a giver, I am a lover, I put myself very much last. It is very difficult for me to be selfish in a way that is focusing on me. I kind of put myself last and that has always been really detrimental. So this has been the first year where I've kind of put myself and my needs first. And I've said no to things that I normally would have never said because I started to love myself. And that was discovered kind of through like the love of others and just sort of realizing that there are people there for me and who want me to be alive and who want me to be healthy. I hate to say it like this, but I was definitely killing myself with food for a very long time. And so this is sort of the recovery from that, the abuse of my body, the just being a piece of crap, like honestly. So the love of others through my students, through my family, my boyfriend, friends, has just made me realize that it's worth it. So my mental health had to improve greatly by loving myself in order to lose weight. And so I feel like I am mentally stronger than ever. That does not mean I don't have my dark days. That doesn't mean I don't have my days where I don't wake up and I'm like, holy crap, I have to go to the gym and I have to eat correctly. I mean, every day is an upward battle. And in this day and age, I think we're all really hypersensitive to our mental health as well as our physical health, which is an awesome privilege to be able to have. So the connection between those two is just so important. So through the love of others, I have loved myself, and that is why I feel like I am successful on this journey so far. Social media is a blessing and a curse. I lost weight because of social media. I mean, that's pretty much all I can say. I was influenced by other quote unquote weight loss YouTubers, which I've talked about in my first video. And I just saw myself in the deception, the lies, the sneaking behind people's backs, the like binging without telling anybody, the like, I'm healthy, like it's fine. And like, meanwhile, my feet were swollen every day. I could barely stand up in a store for very long, and I love to shop. And I could barely stand up. It was just becoming so detrimental, and I was so in denial. So I took to social media myself, started an Instagram to hold myself accountable. I have around 3,000 subscribers, followers, friends, fam there. And so that has been a really awesome and amazing experience. I've connected with so many people. I've connected with people from my area, from across the nation, from Ireland, from Jamaica. It's crazy. So that has been such a blessing. And I would say just the curse is I always feel like I have to be perfect. And unfortunately, that's not true. This is a long haul journey, and I see other people and they are so much mentally stronger than me, or physically stronger, and they whip through their weight loss like there is no tomorrow. And it's hard to not be like, that should be me. And like, people come into my inbox and they tell me I'm an inspiration, and it's like, how? Like, I sat there and I binged without telling anybody, and then that makes me feel awful. So it's been kind of like a curse in that way, but in a blessing, because it's kind of made me look at my sort of like perfectionist feelings and kind of like toss them out the window. Like, I can be vulnerable, people will be there for me. And so far, every time I've been vulnerable on a social media platform, I've received positive praise. So that has been really awesome and really amazing, because I definitely did not think that would be the case. Number 3, this kind of ties into number 2, like, you are not the exception. It's going to come off slow and from weird places. You are not a magazine cover. So when I was little, I used to look at all of the magazine covers, and so did my mom, that were like, lose weight now, drink apple cider vinegar for 5 days. And then the next week would be like fiber, and then be protein, carbs are the enemy. And it's like, what a roller coaster of a ride. But all of these things worked so quickly for all of these people. Fast weight loss, for me personally, will never stick. I will be like those poor unfortunate souls on The Biggest Loser who go on to win The Biggest Loser, and then they gain everything back and then some. I have been there before. I have, shed 30 pounds in 3 months and then put it all on back and then some. So it's kind of like, for me personally, slow and steady wins the race. And while it can be disappointing to plateau a little bit, or it can be really disappointing to see these people who are like, I lost 100 pounds in 6 months. And it's like, well, I should be able to lose 100 pounds in 6 months. You only weigh 250 and I weigh 350. And so it's really hard to not compare yourself. Even though you know your own body, you know yourself, as long as you are taking positive steps in the right direction that are healthy for you and are positive for you, then that's really all that you need. And so that kind of ties into the social media thing, is that you're always kind of comparing yourself, and it's really, really hard. People will lose 20 pounds and look amazing. They're smaller people. And I lost 45 pounds and I wake up so frustrated sometimes, and I'm like, I just want to be skinny. And it's like, slow down, girl. Like, you gonna get there. Like, all of these people who lost massive amounts of weight, whether through surgery or through diet and exercise, it did actually take them a long time, like couple of years. And it's like, slow down, grab the wall, shake it. Never mind. So let's move on to number 4. If weight loss is a part of bettering yourself, other places will follow. So as I talked about before, I believe mental and physical health are completely linked. I think that 9 times out of 10, and I'm not saying this is like for everyone, but you can see someone's mental health from looking at their physical health or how they look. And I was in such a dark place that everything was going wrong. Not just like food addiction and binging and lying but like my financials were not great. I have like, was like paying off Paul to pay Peter, and it just like wasn't good. I was not in a good headspace. My room was a complete mess. If you've ever seen pictures of depression nests before, I definitely had a depression nest when I was living with my parents. My car was a mess. My whole life was a mess. My job was affected by my mental health. My relationships, my friendships, my relationships with family. So it's kind of like once I focused on weight loss, everything else is falling into place. And there's definitely things that are taking a longer time, but I'm so much more focused on bettering other aspects of my life. And I'm like, well, I want to get my financials in order because I feel like there's a future. Like I'm not spending money on fast food, so I have a lot more money to spend on different things. And it's like, don't spend it, save it. I'm learning that. I also like just love to live life in excess, and losing weight has made me kind of look at that and be like, it's not gonna work. Like I moved in with my boyfriend. I think I got rid of like 75% of my stuff, and I recently just did another declutter of my clothing. So it's like it never stops. You are constantly trying to better yourself, which is amazing. Let me tell you, I'm like, oh, I could have been doing this years ago, and now I'm 28 and I'm like discovering the world around me. Like, nice job. So number 5, you will change, and it is inevitable. So much has changed, and I think this kind of like links back to what I've said before. I talked a little about like how the weight loss process is slow, but features of my physical being have changed. Like I feel like my face has changed because like all of the fat is coming off of my face, and I actually have like distinguishable facial features. There's some negative to that. I have pretty much only lost weight from like here up and also in my feet. So I put a picture on my Insta story today of how my gut looks bigger because my like this area and up, like waist and up, has lost all the weight, and my gut is still like the same size. It's not the exact same size, but it's the biggest part of me. It is what needs to go. I carry all of my weight in my gut, which is also horrible, but like my body shape is changing, and it's honestly really hard for me to accept. I've always been like an apple shape, and because like I'm carrying everything around my gut, it's kind of making my lower body larger and kind of turning me more into a pear, and my upper body is about 2 sizes smaller than my lower body. So that has been really hard to accept. It's like I've lost the one positive attribute of being fat, and so it's definitely really difficult. My hair is a lot thinner from being in the caloric deficit. I mean, it doesn't help that I dye it purple, but it's really hard to like accept those changes about myself. Relationships with people have also changed. Thankfully, I've been very, 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 very lucky that the people around me are very supportive, like my core. But I've been gaining like new friends like crazy. Like if you want to make friends, like first of all, make a weight loss Instagram. I will be friends with you. But it's amazing. I've connected with so many different people, including people that I used to go to high school with. And it's just been really awesome. Like I go and work out with them. It's really cool. So yeah, change is inevitable, unfortunately. And if you're someone like me, I used to be so scared of change, and now I'm like, let's change everything, So I've been kind of diving in headfirst as far as the changes, which has been really awesome. Number 6, people are going to comment, let them. Now I know this is very big of me to say when I'm putting my life out on social media, but that is my choice. I'm talking about comments that I can't control. So comments from friends, comments from family, comments from coworkers. And I'm not just talking about, like I love compliments. It is hard for me to receive them in person. But I love a good compliment. Like I've had people who are like, you're like wasting away, which is like, haha, very funny. I'm still over 300 pounds. But like, I've had like really kind comments, about my changes, and my physical change. But I find that the negative comments kind of come into play with food. And this happens probably with my family and the people that are closest to me the most. This is very, very hard because we are so intrinsically trained to be like, this is a good food, this is a bad food. And this is where the eating disorders happen. This is where life goes crazy, and this is what I'm trying to heal from. It's not just anorexia and binging and purging that are an issue, but if you have like a binge eating disorder or a food addiction, you also have a really bad relationship with food. And so part of this losing weight is changing how I feel about food and not just having it be like a pleasure source, or like good food, bad food. It's like, this food is fuel. Yes, some food may taste better than other foods, but all food is fuel. It is a neutral thing. Food is neutral. It's not good. It's not bad. They can't attack you. It is just food. And that is so hard, I feel like, for everyone to kind of understand. And since I'm trying to kind of change my mindset on that, I'm still surrounded by people who believe that there are good and bad foods, and who will eye me if I decide that, you know what, I want a piece of pie today. I'm on this for the long haul. It's not always gonna be like carrots and 0% fat Greek yogurt. Wouldn't that be a dream if we could live in a world where that is what it is? But I'm trying to heal my problems with food through just maintaining neutral. This cake is not bad. This pizza is not bad. Is there a limit to what we can have? Absolutely. I mean, there's a limit to what you can have of plain chicken breast and rice. But it's making those foods neutral. And that's where I feel like I get the most comments, is if I decide to have a quote unquote bad food, I get kind of eyed, or a snide comment is made, or, oh, that's really healthy. And it's kind of, for someone who is not in a good space with food still, I've come a long way. But those comments are not welcome. They're not fun for me to hear. They're not cool for me to hear. And that is where disordered eating comes from. Personally, that's where my disordered eating comes from, being made to feel guilty and shame about food. Food is neutral. It is fuel. And that is what we should view it as, especially to children, which is where most of my issues come from, is childhood. Yay, isn't that what it's all about? But as I'm kind of healing from that, it's like, where that all came from is still sometimes, slapping me in the face a little bit. So people are going to comment. I have learned really to just like let it go. And you know what? I'm going to eat the goddamn cake. Like, I'm going to eat the pie. You just got to deal with it. Am I going to have a smaller portion than I used to? Yeah. Am I going to take the tray and lick the icing off when everyone's done? No, because I don't have that relationship with food anymore. So yeah, that's number 6. I feel like I went on for a really long time, but that one's like super important of what I've learned. And then number 7 is weight loss is not always pretty or fun, and you choose your demons that you have to face and you find your army. So that is kind of where I'm at as far as like establishing this YouTube channel and my Instagram. I'm just trying to have as much fun as possible on this journey. There are dark days where I wake up and I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? But it's like, it's not always pretty. It's not always fun. We have these fitness influencers, these weight loss influencers, and every day is like a bucket of sunshine. And like, that's not true. It's hard, especially if you are recovering from some sort of food addiction or disorder, whether you are coming from like me, who like could not control themselves, ballooned up to like 400 pounds and are coming back from that, or the opposite, and you like starved yourself and now you're trying to heal. Like, you know, it's that sort of thing. You got to face your demons, you got to pick your army, you got to pick your squad, and you got to go out and you have to face them. Like, honestly, I open up to people all the time about my issues with like food and exercise all the time. I do it all the time now. And it's not like I'm trying to be like a crappy person or I'm like trying to like unload my trauma on people. The more that I talk about it, the more that I kind of put out there, the better I feel. Like, the better I feel. I just feel like people need to be informed about certain things, and then we can all like learn and grow as a family. So yeah, I rambled on for 20 minutes. So the whole like writing things down only sort of helped. I mean, if you think about it, I only spent about like 3 to 4 minutes on each topic, so maybe that's a good thing. So thank you for joining me here today. If you have any questions or you have any video suggestions, please leave a comment below. And if you come from my Instagram, let me know who you are. Introduce yourself to me. I will stalk your Instagram. I will follow you. I will answer your messages. I'm not always the best about messages, especially if I'm not having like a great mental health day, but I do try to be there as much as possible. Group messages, not good for me, but like one-on-one messaging, I will totally make sure that we stay in touch, we chat, and we talk. So if you have any suggestions or any comments or any questions, any queries, you know, leave a comment down below. I would love to hear from you. Give me thumbs up. If you hate it, give it thumbs down. I mean, no, but not everybody is gonna like me, unfortunately. So thank you so much for coming here today, and have a wonderful, wonderful day.